start with a deep breath because it's going to be a doozy of a video. I was debating whether to post about this at all because I know the internet isn't always a nice place, but I am learning to be more vulnerable on the internet, no matter what the comment section is, because I want to let my feelings out. I am planning this new series. This is episode 1. Welcome. Being more vulnerable on the internet and telling my problems. So, let's just get into this one. I'm going to start by just saying thank you for being here on my YouTube. Not many people join us here. So if you have, thank you. Please don't forget, like and subscribe and all that jazz. Click the bell. YouTube isn't my thing yet entirely. TikTok's my place. We're branching out. But I wanted to do a longer video where it's less likely to be flagged and taken down by TikTok about possibly being autistic, as the title of the video says. So I had an appointment, phone appointment, because my doctor still isn't doing face-to-face annoyingly, a couple of weeks back. I rang up saying I am wanting an autism assessment because I've been told by professionals that it seems very likely you could be, but obviously I can't diagnose you and I can't do the assessment, so go call your GP. In which I did, and they said, okay, 2 weeks time, here's an appointment. So they called me back 2 weeks later and they said, oh no, this is just a referral. So I was told, no, this is the assessment. But maybe yes, you know that you don't get the assessment straight away and it is just a referral. I did not know that. But that's then what I was told is that I'd be getting the assessment. They said, no, this is a referral. I'm going to ask you a few questions to see whether you should be referred. They forgot half the questions. They're like, oh, wait a minute, before you go, just this question that they had to take up on the form. And, oh, just this question. Oh, so before you go again, just this question. Which made me very confident, obviously, that they know what they're doing. And then they said, oh yeah, I can put in a referral, but it's not going to be for 3 years that you can get an assessment. So I've been struggling with this for a long time, but I did not know that autism was a possible thing that it could be, because autism throughout my entire life hasn't been presented as someone like me. It has been only ever displayed as someone who doesn't really have the ability to live a normal life and have a job, be a parent, many other things like that. They make, from what I've seen, and I've learned lots recently, but what I've seen in my younger years is that's what it was. And I'm like, well, I can do these things that I've been told an autistic person can't do, so clearly I can't be. And it ended up being diagnosed as anxiety and depression, what's different in my head. And Luke has been working in school, and he started watching videos, and he's been working with autistic children, and he had to do a bit of training, obviously, prior, and this is where we started thinking. And he was watching these videos saying an autistic person might do XYZ, and he's like, you do XYZ. And then he'd watch another video, and they do this, you do that. And it was a little jokey thing, like, that I did all the things. And then he started working more and more with it. There was someone up by the nursery where Jax works who I was working with myself after Joey was born, and she was like, yep, I would not be surprised if you were. And then, because TikTok is very specific, very, very specific on the FYP, started seeing a lot of autistic people on there. And they started talking in a way that was like, oh wait, you're living a life like me and able to have a job, have a family, live a relatively typical life, but you're inside your head, how things work isn't how other people process it, but what you're saying is exactly how I process it. And I've been struggling with a lot of things my whole life. that then I've just kind of shoved away because I'm told it's not normal to think like that, which has made life a struggle. Just trying to bury it all and put on this front and pretend everything's okay when inside it's not. And I know that if I was able to get the help and a diagnosis, then I'm like, yeah, this is how your head works, and I can have some clarity, and with that there can be some help in what can we do, what can anyone do to offer you support around making things make sense, to have you a better structure because that's what you need, or keep things in control. But for 3 years they've said that that is not a possible thing, and it's really been getting to me because I know a lot of my issues that I have only just started addressing come from young children then that have no, you can't fully control because they're too little, and things are as I need them to be. And when I say it all, it comes across like, oh, so you don't want your kids around? No, it's that it's hard to understand and process things, and just a little help would be nice. And apparently for 3 years that is not something that can be delivered. But in 3 years, my youngest child will be 4 and in school, and the issues that I'm having of not being able to get stuff done and the things that you have control whilst the kids are there and messing things up, they'll be at school. It's also where my kids are in school, so it's go back to a full-time job, which then every job I've had, things sometimes don't fit right for me and how things work, and if I don't have a 9 to 5 or one with a structure every week, it's completely, my head's messed up if I'm on a 0-hour contract. And I know that if I got a diagnosis, I can go to a place of work and go get support and say, look, because of how my head works, these are the types of jobs that I'll be better at and kind of the structure I need. But because I don't have that, many people look at you and think, oh, you're just being petty, you're just being childish and pedantic. And I'm like, that's how you see it, but this is how my head's working. And because of a lack of diagnosis, I am struggling to get anywhere because I can't say this is how my head's working and there's a reason why my head's working like that. It's kind of just now, we'll get over it. And it's difficult. And I think there needs to be better things put in place. I don't know what to put in place, but I can't do anything. I don't know if I could do anything, and if I can, someone could help me. For me and other people who are struggling with this, with any neurodivergency, where we need a structure and a system to help life work. Because it is a serious struggle for many people. And it's something that I didn't even know about until recently, and I know if it was looked at better, I could have had this sorted long before in life. It's the case a lot of girls in particular end up getting diagnosed a lot later in life, my age, because we are taught to mask, and a lot of autistic studies are looked at in like 5-year-old boys. It's been looked at, and if you look at me and my children, we are very, very different, because no matter what, if we both have the same brain conditions, I'm very different to a 5-year-old boy, like, for very obvious reasons. And I think it needs studying harder to help people who have been taught to mask it. I feel a lot it's looked at still in a negative way, and that someone with a neurodivergency is just naughty or disobedient, doesn't care, is selfish, instead of being looked at as they're just wired in a different way. And these are things that I think need looking at, because it is often looked at as very negative, and I feel in many ways, yes, sometimes it does cause a lot of problems. the way my brain works, but sometimes it's also very helpful. And I just need a diagnosis so I can get the help I need. And 3 years is far too long to be waiting to get help. I mean, would we leave someone who's suffering with a broken leg for 3 years before we offer help? No, because we can't just leave someone hobbling around struggling for 3 years. And I don't know if it's looked at, well, it's not going to kill you. Might not kill me, but it can put me in a state of mental distress, which I have been in, which, looking now, it has been because my brain's wired differently, that can lead to an unalive rate higher than it should be. And I feel things regarding our brains need to be taken seriously and looked at a lot more than they currently are. And that's just my rant for today. It's very incoherent, but if anyone knows of any help I can get or give to someone else, maybe someone else is feeling the exact same way as me, I have no idea. But I want to help someone if I can. There's my rant to the internet. Stay tuned next week to see what trouble I'm going through then.